Hey, what's up, Tanner? I just figured it'd be easier to show you some things about Photoshop than to try to tell you how to do this. So check this out, man. First things you need to know, all these tools, they aid for different things. The main things, you have the brush tool right here, spot healing brush. This is a selection tool. A lot of this is about selections, and everything boils down to either global adjustments to an image or local adjustments. So what you're trying to do is a local adjustment where you want to take one pair of jeans and match the color to another. So several ways to do that, and you'll figure that out. There's different ways to do everything, so don't worry that you don't know what everything is yet. You'll figure it out in time. Let me show you some quick ways to select something, because that's one of the main things that you'll do. And masking is important too, so look up some YouTube videos on masking and get that down pat, because that's probably one of the primary things that will be important in Photoshop. Alright, so what did I do with it here? The quick selection tool right here, it looks this little brush with the little whatever, little marching ants symbol around it. If you open that, then it will detect lines in the image with colors and different things. So let's do the black one, because it'll see the black jeans a little better. And all I gotta do is buzz right down wherever these jeans are, and you see, because this color is so different, it actually did it pretty much automatically almost. So if you hold down the Alt key while you're using this, then you can subtract from the selection you just made, and then you just kind of go back and forth in areas where it didn't quite get it right. Hold down Alt to move it back, and it'll start to detect that again as you move it back and forth here until you get it just right. Okay, so now we've got a selection of the black jeans. Oh, here's some more. Hold down Alt, get it off of the blue part here. Good enough for this. You might spend more time, of course, you know, when you're doing it for real. But now, what I'll do here is make a mask, and I'll also duplicate this layer by holding Command or Control on the Windows and hit J, and then I'll go ahead and get rid of the mask on the bottom when I should have duplicated it to begin with, really. Okay, so here we are, and now you can see we've isolated the black jeans. So anything I do to this layer is only going to affect that. Or I can use non-destructive adjustment layers and just duplicate this mask onto them to make sure that only this is being affected. So check this out. If I command click right here on this mask, it brings back that selection for me, and you'll see the marching ants here, which shows you that it's selected. And then here's your adjustment layers. These are non-destructive, meaning that the effects don't happen directly to the images, but on its own layer. So you can, you know, adjust them separately. You can take them away later if you don't like them. So it's a good idea to try to do that. So real quick, we'll use the hue saturation adjustment layer, and we'll turn on colorize for this. And you can see here, as I pull the hue slider over towards blue, we can change this to whatever color. And in terms of making it look more realistic, you've got the saturation here you can turn up or down. Lightness, which for black jeans we'd have to turn the lightness up. And then just play with these until you get the color that you want. And that's one way to do this. And so, okay, let's just say we want them to be more blue here. Crank up the saturation, maybe turn them down. See, those are actually starting to look a little bit more realistic there. And as far as actually matching the color, I mean, that's a tricky thing, but we'll turn the saturation down, start to crank this up, and you see we're getting in the ballpark, and turning something black to a lighter color is difficult. If I wanted to change one of these colors to better match closely to, you know, this other blue, that would be much easier and it would look a lot more realistic, but you kind of get the general idea with that. Another thing you can do, get rid of these layers. Alright, so duplicate my layer. Wrong one. It's interesting.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Sometimes Photoshop acts a little funny. I was hitting Command J and it wasn't actually duplicating my layer. But anyway, so alright, pay attention to these menus up here at the top. There's a lot of stuff in here you can do. And if you go under Select and you go to the Selection menu, Color Range Selection rather, and then you can go in here and you can sample stuff to make mask with. So if I click here on just this yellow, for example, it's just going to give me the little yellow stripe there. And this is a little bit more tricky when you have a lot of blue, for example, in here, and say you're trying to pick just this blue over here, but look, it's got the two on the right too. So what you can do is you can go ahead and get your general selection tool out, which you can just make it's like a marquee tool, so you can just drag out a square, and that's gonna contain anything you do just to this square. So now if I go to this layer, go to Select and Color Range, and now it's just giving me this one pair of jeans over here. It's getting a little bit into the black there though. Trying to sample somewhere else here. Yeah, that's better. So if I hit OK, it's going to make a selection, and now I can make my mask based on that. Now I'm going to hold down the Alt key and click on my mask. Now here's the thing about a mask: whatever is black hides and whatever is white reveals whatever is under it. So keep that in mind. Hit B for the brush tool, and let me reset my brush here. Okay, so I got black 100%, and if you right click you get this menu for your brush. You want to make sure that it's all the way hard for this, because we're going to go and get rid of where it overlapped into that second set of jeans there. I'm going to do this more quickly, but I don't want to do that. Wouldn't be that sloppy. Alright. And you can adjust your brush with the bracket keys, left and right bracket, under your backspace key, and make it smaller to get down closer and be more exact. Now if you really want to get this mask completely without any black hiding any of the jeans at all, then you can use white, switch down, here's your colors, foreground and background. The foreground is what your brush is going to be on, so make sure that's on white, and then you can go in there and get all these black areas. You could literally go ahead and color this whole thing in with white to make sure that you get that, but we're not going to do that because I don't actually want to affect the jeans that way. I want to make it look more natural. So now if I alt click on my mask again, and now if I add a hue saturation layer, which you can try without adding colorize, or without using the colorize mode. Whoops. Sorry, I'm gonna have to invert my mask over to my hue saturation layer. Got a command click. Now I'll make my hue saturation layer. Okay, now as I move this, you see only the jeans on the left are moving, and only kind of part of it, not the entire part of that image, so it's more natural. So I can crank up the saturation here, change the color. Change the saturation and lightness to get all kinds of different colors out of this. There's also other things you can do with the levels adjustment layer and the curves adjustment layers to change colors, but I would just start here and kind of play with that. So I hope that this is kind of helping you to get started, and if you have trouble or questions, let me know. Alright man, good luck with that.